$1.25 million. That is the magic number that Americans are saying that they would feel comfortable retiring if they had that amount into savings and investment accounts, which of course is up 20% from last year, guys, which is a huge increase when it comes to the saving numbers. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the exact reasons why, and also see kind of where Americans are headed as we look at savings and as we look at retirement right now. So as of right now, guys, there is a very big decline in savings. So even though that number has increased 20% from last year, there is a decline of about 11% when it comes to the retirement nest egg, taking it to around $87,000. That is right, guys. When you think of the kind of the difference between those, Americans are saying they'd be comfortable with 1.25 million in a retirement account. The average nest egg is $86,000. That is kind of insane to think that there is that much of a shift between the amount that people need and the amount that people are actually saving in today's economy. Now, the shift in the expected retirement age, this is another big part, guys. The expected retirement age has risen to 64 compared to just 62.6 a year ago, which means now people are really thinking of working longer because, again, they don't have that $1.25 million or they are not feeling comfortable getting into retirement. And again, this is kind of a trend towards delayed retirement because Americans don't have enough money to retire. Now, financial concerns for American workers. Bankrate survey reports that 55% of American workers feel that they are behind on the retirement savings, which again, looking at that 66 or 67,000, which is the average, we are incredibly behind. 71% of the working baby boomers express the settlement that they will not be able to retire, and the money that they do have saved is not going to last them through retirement, meaning there's going to be a point, guys, where they are just 100% reliant on Social Security if Social Security is still there, because they're not going to have a secondary income. They're not going to have their primary job anymore in the retirement age, and they will be essentially out of money. Now, some of the factors really going into delaying this retirement, of those planning to retire later, 59% they desired to continue working and saving more money towards retirement, while 45% are concerned about rising healthcare costs, unexpected medical expenses that are not going to be covered by Medicare or Medicaid, depending on what you have. There is a big factor with one, not saving enough, two, healthcare costs being so expensive that 45% of people do not even want to retire because they want the health insurance that is offered through their employer versus going on the government plan. Now, with that being said, a lot of early retirement aspirations, a lot of Americans do dream of living early and wanting to be completely debt-free. A lot of people, 15% of the respondents in this one, guys, said they plan and want to retire early. 44% citing spending more time with their family and their loved ones as the number one reason why they do want to retire early, even though we don't have the money to do this. Now, of course, there are some reasons why you can really prioritize retirement. And again, looking at this, personal mission, 34% of the population said. Financial affordability, focus on your hobbies outside of work. So if there's something that you absolutely love to do, getting into retirement is going to give you a lot more plans and a lot more time to actually do what you love to do. Incentive plans, which of course, a lot of the buyout packages that we see, even looking at the auto working industry, not only have they ended a majority of the strikes, but there was also a lot, and there has been in the past, a lot of buyouts. So incentive plans to actually retire early, and also changes in the work situation, guys. As the workplace kind of changes, getting a lot more remote, getting a lot more dynamic, getting a lot more younger generation in the workforce, a lot of these individuals have chosen to retire. Concerns about Social Security, this, of course, 45% of respondents are worried that Social Security may no longer exist in the upcoming years, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, when they possibly could be in the later years of retirement, that Social Security will not be there. They do not have faith in the program. And this sentiment kind of rings true with a lot of individuals. Social Security's role in retirement. Now, this again is a very scary one. Respondents expect to draw retirement from a mixed amount of sources, 27% from 401ks and IRAs, 26% from Social Security, and 22% from personal savings and investment. If you add that up, guys, that's not 100%. So obviously, we're not covering all of these expenses. which again, when you look at reverse mortgages that have gained popularity in the past, when you look at refinances, debt consolidation, even going into retirement, a lot of those have to be in place before you get into that fixed Social Security income, or it can make a really big difference when it comes to the money that you can borrow when you are getting into retirement. And of course, the shifting to early claim has trended, guys. A report for the Center of Retirement Research at Boston College have noted that Social Security claims are down during and after COVID. That is right, guys. A lot of people that essentially lost the year or two during the COVID-19 pandemic are not getting into or not switching into retirement because they're actually staying longer because some of those years were kind of missed almost, is what I'm seeing. That there is so many complex things, guys, and so much diversity when it comes to retirement planning. And unfortunately, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to retirement planning, this is something that a lot of people really look into a lot when they get to the 50, the 55, the 60 years old. And then all of a sudden, they realize that they don't have enough money to retire. That is the reason why we budget. That is the reason why we invest and really stepping up that investment. I know Dave Ramsey, again, going back to this one, guys, 15% of your income should be saved for retirement. That is right, 15% right off the top. Pay yourself. Any company match is icing on the cake. It doesn't mean if my company gives me 5%, I only have to put in the 10% to equal my 15%. That is almost sabotaging your retirement or the contributions that you can get in there. Guys, your goal and your part that you want to put into retirement is 15%. Again, if there's a match, if there's anything that is on top of that 15%, your responsibility to be all set in retirement age is at 15%. And again, thinking of this kind of big picture, if you're, 18, 20, 22, 24, when you start getting established in your career, you put 15% up front. You're going to carry that full 15% for the next 30 to 40 years, which means 30 to 40 years at 15% of your salary. As your salary gradually increases, you get promotions, you get raises, the cost of living goes up. You get a lot of incentives, you get a lot of things through your career and through your life. That 15% is going to remain stationary, making sure that you have enough money to retirement, guys. Again, you don't want to be part of the individuals that get into retirement 5-10 years into retirement. They are completely out of money, living the rest of their life and Social Security, which means very limited travel. Having rising healthcare expenses means you're not going to be able to cover a lot of things, or you're not going to want to be, or you're not going to be able to do a lot of things that you had planned to do in retirement because you're going to be kind of tied to what is offered. And that is saying that Social Security could be there in the future, because ultimately, guys, if Social Security is not there, it is not going to be the catch-all. There's going to have to be something to replace it. But overall, looking at this, guys, average retirement savings is $86K. Keep that in mind. And you need $1.25 million. That is right, guys. There is a big disparity between those numbers. But I'm hoping through education, through financial literacy, that we can close that gap through investing on a regular basis, dollar cost average, do a lot of things that we talk about, that we can actually get that number much higher than we have seen. All right, guys. So let me know what you guys think about retirement, and I'll catch you in the next video.